Okay, today we're going to review writing equations of lines, and just like we talked about in class, I like to use the point slope form. And as you can see, this is a formula that we talked about: y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And just as the title suggests, if we're going to write equations of a line with this formula, we need a point and we need the slope. So I want to write an equation of a line that contains a point 410 and has a slope of 1/2. Now the first thing I like to do is to label my point x sub 1, y sub 1, and then I can plug into the formula. Y minus my y coordinate, which is 10, equals my slope, which is 1/2, times x minus my x coordinate, which is 4. And there I have the equation in point slope form. But we want to simplify that, and when we simplify, it's going to be slope intercept form. So first thing I want to do is I want to distribute and get rid of the parentheses. So I have y minus 10 equals, I distribute here and I get 1/2 x. I distribute here and I get minus 2. And now I want to solve the equation for y. To do that, I'm going to add 10 to both sides. And the equation of my line is y equals 1/2 x plus 8. And there's my equation in slope-intercept form. In a later video, we will be taking slope-intercept form and writing it in standard form. Let's look at another example. This time I have 2 points. Well, just again, as the title suggests, I need the slope and a point. Well, I have the points, I don't have the slope. So we need to calculate what the slope is. And you can use the slope formula if you choose. I like to kind of sketch my graph and see where the points are. So 2, 6, and 7, 6. Well, it looks like that is a horizontal line, which tells me my slope is 0. So I have a slope of 0 and 2 points. Now when I plug into the point slope form, doesn't matter which point I use. I'm going to use 2, 6. And again, I'm going to call this x sub 1 and y sub 1. I'm going to come over here. I have y minus my y coordinate, which is 6, equals my slope, which is 0, times x minus my x coordinate, which is 2. Well, we know on the right side of the equation, if I multiply by 0, I always get 0. So I have y minus 6 equals 0. I'm going to add 6 to both sides in order to isolate the y. So my equation says y equals 6. And just like we saw when we sketched it up here, it is a horizontal line. And let's look at another example. What if we want to draw a line that contains a point and it's parallel to a second line? I have the point -110. And I want to write an equation of a line that contains that point and it's parallel to the line y equals 2x plus 2. Well, just like we said in class, lines that are parallel have the same slope. And we know that an equation in slope-intercept form, the coefficient is my slope. So I want to write an equation of a line that contains a point negative 110 that has a slope of 2. There's x1, y1, and so I'm going to plug in y minus my y coordinate, which is 10, equals my slope, which is 2, times x minus my x coordinate, which is negative 1. And you remember from 7th grade math that when we subtract a negative, it really means to add a positive. So that's x plus 1. And now I'm going to simplify my equation. It says y minus 10 equals, remember we're going to distribute, and we get 2x plus 2. We're going to add 10 to both sides. So the equation of my line in slope-intercept form is y equals 2x plus 12. Our last example, we're again going to write the equation of a line, but this time we want the line to be perpendicular. So we want to write an equation of a line that contains a point 6, 4, and it is perpendicular to the line y equals 1/4 x plus 10. Well, what slope is that? Well, we talked about in class, if the two lines are perpendicular, it's going to be negative reciprocals. Okay, we said this one's positive, so my slope has to be negative. And then I invert my fraction, so it has a slope of 4. My point, x sub 1, y sub 1. And now I'm going to plug in y minus my x coordinate, which is 4, equals negative 4 times x minus my x coordinate, which is 6. There it is in point slope, and now I want to simplify. Y minus 4 equals, don't forget I'm going to distribute, so I have negative 4x plus 24. I'm going to add 4 to both sides. So the equation of my line is y equals negative 4x plus 28. And now that is the equation of a line that contains a point 6, 4, and is perpendicular to the line y equals 1/4 x plus 10. If you have any more questions, watch the video and see me in class. Bye.